It is 6:30 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. We will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Winona City Council and is being held via conference call pursuant to Minnesota Statutes 13D.021 in response to the COVID-19 emergency. Let me please remind those who are on the conference call line, please mute your phones until you are asked to speak. Also, please identify yourself before you speak. As required by the statute, all votes will be conducted by roll call, so each member's vote on each issue can be identified and recorded. Also, if at any time a council member is not able to hear the discussion or one another, please interrupt me immediately to indicate so. Also, just a reminder to state your name before you speak so you're easily identified. Tonight, I've got a couple announcements. One of the biggest ones I would say was last Friday, we were surprised with the governor removing the state mask order. I want to thank everyone for their efforts to stay safe and healthy over the past several months of the pandemic. In many ways, the city of Winona has led the way in our response to this crisis. Throughout the pandemic, we not only kept ourselves and others safe from COVID, we continued to provide exceptional services to the community. Governor Tim Walz formalized the end of the state's mask mandate on Friday. Winona's order went into effect last July 2020, weeks before the state mandate was announced, and was one of the first in the state in a time of rapidly rising cases, hospitalizations, and deaths in the city. It was ordered by then Mayor Mark Peterson and affirmed by the Winona City Council. When the mask order was announced, it included a provision that the order would follow any state mandates. Minnesota announced its state mask mandate later that month. Masks were a critical tool that prevented the spread of COVID and kept Winona safe throughout the pandemic. Now that many residents have been vaccinated, our community is in a different place. The order was the right thing to do then, and the end of the state's mandate is the right thing to do now. Masks will no longer be required at city facilities, including the library, Friendship Center, and City Hall. Masks will still be required on public transit per the governor's order, including city buses. Residents doing business within this city, either in the community or in city facilities, are welcome to ask employees to wear masks if that makes them comfortable. The bottom line is this: if someone's wearing a mask, allow them to do so. It's very important that we allow everybody to feel comfortable in their level of safety. We don't know who's vaccinated and who's not, but if you're vaccinated, you are free to remove your mask. This is also a good opportunity to start talking about getting vaccinated if you haven't yet. We are still looking to reach herd immunity. This week, we will have vaccination clinics at Winona Health. Tomorrow, May 18th, 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Thursday, May 20th, 3 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. Winona County Public Health will also have one at East End Rec Center on Wednesday, May 19th, 4 to 8 p.m. All of those clinics are available to people 12 years of age and older. So they're all the Pfizer vaccinations. You can also check with Walgreens, Target, Walmart, and Hy-Vee to see if they have any vaccinations available as well. I have one more comment tonight. Building Safety Month is an international campaign celebrated in May to raise awareness about building safety. Modern, regularly updated building codes and enforcement ensure that individuals and communities are safe in the building where they live, work, and play. I'd like to thank the Community Development Inspections Division for the work they do to provide a safe environment for Winona to grow. City Manager Steve Sarvey, do you have comments?
I have a couple, Your Honor. Thank you. I just want to thank all the employees for their hard work and effort over this last year. Right now, city staff stands above 80% vaccinated, which is great. We'd like to get that number a lot closer to 100%, so we'll keep trying, but 80% is 10% higher than what the governor and the president had ordered. So I one of the reasons that we moved so quickly to lift the mask mandate here in the city when the governor made his announcement. And also, I'd like to pass along my condolences to the Hullum family in Rushford. Chris Hullum was the mayor when I was there, and his father passed away recently. His dad, Clifford, who was the unofficial mayor of the Brooklyn neighborhood and was a charter member of the group of old guys that sort of ran the city and had the table of knowledge down at Stumpy's. So he'll be missed by his family and his wife, Diane, who were married and celebrated their anniversary on my birthday, which was kind of odd and interesting. So farewell, Clifford, great life. And we wish the family well as they go through their grieving process. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I will now ask the city clerk to take roll call. Members of the city council who are either present in the council chambers or participating by conference call, please indicate your presence by stating here as the city clerk calls your name.
Mayor Scott Sherman.
Here.
Councilman Young.
Here.
Moeller.
Here.
Alexander.
Here.
Iden. Borzakowski.
Here.
Rapinski.
Here. For each public hearing, staff will make a short presentation, and then I will ask if anyone from the public wishes to speak to the matter. You must clearly state your name and address, and you will be given up to 3 minutes to make your testimony. I will call 3 times for public comments. Once the hearing is closed, the public may not participate in any discussion by the city council.
Under required public hearings, item 2.1 is the consideration of the establishment of a tax increment financing district number 6 for Windcraft 2.0.
And tonight we have Lucy McMartin from the Community Development Department.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. Port Authority staff has been meeting with Windcraft over the past several months, trying to encourage them to put their expansion project here in Winona. The Port Authority met just prior to the city council in a special meeting and recommended approval of the tax increment financing plan and establishing the district. They've been in business for over 60 years. They have over 430 employees. And the company was sold in December of last year to Fanatics. They have multiple locations throughout the world, and we're hoping that the expansion can occur here. It would be approximately 120,000 square foot building, which is about the size of their current building on Innovation Drive. They're investing over $8 million, and it would be for manufacturing finished goods and distribution. So the Economic Development Tax Increment Financing District that would be proposed is for an 8-year time frame. So I'd like to point out that the taxes on the property, on the land itself, will be paid by the company, but the incremental value is rebated back to them for eligible expenses. This is a tool under state statute. It's extremely monitored, and we keep good records of eligible expenses. So the proposed tax increment would be for a maximum term of 8 years. It could be reduced once the tax increment that's approved is collected. As I mentioned, the Port Authority did recommend this at their 5 o'clock meeting today, and I'm happy to answer any questions following the public hearing.
Very good. Lucy, do you have a couple people to speak?
Yes, I believe that President John Killen is on the line.
John, are you available to say a few words?
Hi, this is John Killen. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, sorry about that. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, Mayor Sherman and City Council for bringing this to the public hearing tonight. And I also would like to thank the support and guidance, I should say, from Lucy McMartin and her staff in the city of Winona, not only this year, but every year, and especially 2015 when we built our first building here in Winona. But I would like to speak to this. We are a proud Winona-based company. We are a 60-year company celebrating our 60th anniversary this year, 1961 to 2021. We currently have about 550 total employees, and in Winona, over 450 employees, and we have 40 jobs that are open right now. In December of last year, we were sold as Dick Pope, our CEO, our chairman at the time, decided it was his time to switch gears, retire, and we sold the company to our second largest customer, Fanatics. And Fanatics is an industry leading company in the sports license product industry. They have 8,000 employees, 32 offices worldwide, and very highly regarded. When we look at the future and we look at the jobs, since the December acquisition, we have retained all jobs. And as I said, we're adding 40 more. And this addition, 120,000 square foot addition, would add no less than 15 new jobs in the immediate 24 months following the successful building of the building. The building's necessary because in the city of Winona, we have 4 locations right now, 2 on Sanborn Street, 1 on Mark Street, and this large building also on Innovation Drive, all of which are basically at capacity. If we don't build in Winona, we'll have to build somewhere else. And last week I was at our corporate office in Tampa, Florida, and presented why we should build in Winona. And we would like to make that decision. This tax increment financing helps us afford to build. There's a lot of remediation in the soil, and there are a lot of choices and other incentives around the United States for Fanatics to have a facility and add on to maybe some of the other 32 offices that we do have. So I would like your support. We want to make a decision in the near term about building, and we'd like to do it in Winona. We'd like to continue the heritage of Windcraft in the city, and I stand open to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Does anyone have any questions for John?
Mayor George here.
Go ahead, George.
Just one quick question, John. Everything passes, everything goes that way. When would construction begin?
Great question, George. Thank you. Our builder would be the Weezer Brother Company, the same company that built our building in 2015. And right now, because of COVID, as we all would anticipate, there's quite a lineup or a shortage of supplies. The lead time on a building is 4 to 5 months. We would like to have final plans drawn in the month of June. And right now we're tentatively set to start soil remediation sometime in July. But it's all somewhat contingent upon the supplies, the materials, and metal that we need for the building.
Thank you. As we know, prices are up.
Yes, they are. Yeah, the initial prices are up. You know, we just built almost a sister company or a sister building to this building just 6 years ago, and prices are up substantially over that period of time. But it is attractive to look at the knowledge base of employees we have in Winona and the heritage of, you know, our average tenure is well over 15 years of our management team, and just the strength of Windcraft. And so we like to keep it in Winona, and I think that helps us, you know, absorb that cost a little bit of material as we look at alternatives.
Thank you, John. Lucy, do we have Christy Ransom on the line?
Christy Ransom, are you on the Zoom meeting for council? She was at the Port Authority, but
Okay.
okay.
All right. I will open up the public hearing. You must clearly state your name and address. You will be given up to 3 minutes to make your testimony. And I will call 3 times for public comments. Would anybody like to speak to this project? Again, would anybody like to speak during the public hearing session? One more time, I will ask, would anybody from the public care to speak regarding this project? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Mayor, Michelle Alexander, I'd make a motion to establish the tax increment financing district number 6 and approve the 2 attached resolutions, which would be the TIF plan and the expansion project with the tax increment financing.
Steve
Eileen
Young
will
will second.
Who seconded?
We have a motion from Michelle, a second from Eileen. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, this is Steve Young.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, you know, when a business is sold, when we saw the announcement there that Windcraft was sold, you kind of get a lump in your throat and you're thinking, oh my, you know, what's going to happen next? So this is especially welcome news that they're planning on expanding, adding employees. This grows our tax base. This is exactly what we want, increased employment, and they're not leaving. This is part of the wonderful aspect that we have of Winona. Windcraft and is a top 10 employer for us, top 10 as far as headcount, and we certainly want to support them. So this is good news.
Thank you, Steve. Any other comments?
Mayor George here.
Go ahead, George.
Outside of just the Windcraft expansion with the products that they sell out of Winona, also all the jobs that are a spin-off of this construction project. And as they're operating and going along on their assembly lines, all the spin-off of jobs that creates for other people not associated with Windcraft, but they may be a supplier of them for goods and many, many other items. So yes, it's very, very good news that we can keep them here.
Thank you, George. Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye. Motion passes.
We will move up to new business, item 5.1, the presentation of the 2020 city financial reports.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight is our annual review of the 2020 financial reports. And with us, we have our independent auditors, Judy Dockendorf and Linda Schmitz, and they will be giving a summary of the financials.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Sherman and members of the City Council. I'm Judy Dockendorf, Managing Director from Deloitte & Touche. We're happy to be here to talk about the results of the 2020 audit for the City of Winona. We have completed our audit of the city's comprehensive annual financial report and issued an unqualified or a clean opinion on the financial statements for 2020. That is the highest level of an opinion we can provide on the financial statements. In addition, given the level of federal expenditure funding that the city had in 2020, we also performed a uniform grant guidance audit or a compliance audit on federal dollars expended. We issued a clean opinion on that audit as well, and there were no material findings or question costs there. We appreciate the help from the city's finance department as we moved through the 2020 audit, and would be happy to answer any questions, but do appreciate the time prior to this meeting with you and have issued our report on the financial statement.
Very good. Thank you.
I would make a motion to approve the report.
Okay.
Aaron would second that.
Eileen makes the motion. Aaron will second it. Any discussion or any questions? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
and Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
We will also move up then. Item 5.2 is the presentation for the award for financial reporting, and a motion to receive and file would be in order.
And I do have something to read real quick. This is from the Government Finance Officers Association. Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada, GFOA, has awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting to City of Winona for its comprehensive annual financial report for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2019. This report has been judged by an impartial panel to meet the high standards of the program, which includes demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure to clearly communicate its financial story and motivate potential users and user groups to read the report. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. Congratulations to Jessica and your team.
Mayor?
I'd make a motion to accept and file.
Eileen will second.
Okay, we have a motion from Michelle, a second from Eileen. Any discussion?
Good job.
Thank you, George.
As always.
Any other comments or discussion?
I would just remind council that department head switch is never easy, but was definitely seamless in this case. We also had other turnover in the department, folks retiring after quite a number of years. And also those positions have been filled seamlessly as well. So hats off to the old team, hats off to the new team. Good work.
I will mention that Jessica did give kudos to most of her team when I congratulated her in person. So that is the sign of a good manager. Thank you very much. Did you want to say something real quick, Jessica?
Yeah, if I could, I'd like to thank Christine and Danielle. They both helped out a lot this year with the audit. I would say that we were pretty consistently a week or two ahead, and that's thanks to Christine and Danielle.
Thank you, Jessica. Any other comments, discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Going back to the petitions, requests, and communications. Item 3.1 is a request to hold the Miles for Smiles Walk at West Lake on June 5th.
I make a
Michelle
motion to
Zimmerman.
approve the request.
We have a motion by Eileen and a second by Michelle. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 3.2 are sign requests for the Winona Farmers Market and Steamboat Days.
I move approval. Michelle Alexander.
Eileen will second.
We have a motion by Michelle, a second by Eileen. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 3.3 is the premises permit for lawful gambling for the Goodview Winona Hockey Association to be used at EB's Corner.
George
Michelle,
moves to approve the application.
I will second. Michelle Alexander.
We have a motion by George and a second by Michelle. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 3.4 is the John Street closure request.
I, Michelle Alexander, move approval of that request.
I second.
We have a motion by Michelle and a second by Eileen. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 3.5 is a request for after-hours use of Garvin Heights City Park.
I, Michelle Alexander, move approval of that request.
I will second.
We have a motion by Michelle, a second from Eileen. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
And item 3.6 is a request for a four-way stop at the intersections of 7th and High Forest and 8th and High Forest. And I would note that the recommendation is to not approve the ordinance.
I, Michelle Alexander, would make a motion to deny the request.
I will second.
We have a motion by Michelle and a second by Eileen. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor George here.
Go ahead, George.
I'm in favor of this tonight. Back in 1997, a newly elected councilman by the name of Dave Koba took the office of the 4th Ward. Very good gentleman, very well-respected gentleman. One of his plans was to come up with safety zones around schools. And they started it out, I believe, first down at WK School. Then they moved to the parochial schools, and they moved also up to Winona State University. So as that time went by, it was put in for the safety of the children and the safety of the college students that do a lot of walking. Anyway, like I said, the last couple of years, we noticed that St. Stan's, the school and the church over there, was out of compliant. There was 2 corners that, or 3 that did not have them. And those signs were put in for the safety of the children and the pedestrians. This one at WK School, I feel for some odd reason over the years has been missed. And now it has circled back from a parent that picks up their children. The majority of the students exit through the playground at WK School at the end of their school day. And then, of course, they're darting all over left, right. Yes, there are crossing guards there that help them across. But then again, I say the crossing guard is only there so long and the students continue to come out after the crossing guards and things are gone. My reason for supporting this tonight would be that this simply just brings our safety zone a little more in compliant with the schools that have it. St. Stan's has it, WK would have it, St. Martin's has it on 5th Street, Winona State has it, the Cotter campus has it. And I feel all this is doing is just bringing this safety zone for school students into compliance.
Mayor Aaron here. I'd like to piggyback on George's recommendation. I too support that. Living in the East End or 4th Ward area, I have driven past that school numerous times with kids being led out. And usually it's just before the other schools get out. And there are a lot of children that cross that intersection. I have stopped there. I've waited for kids. I do believe it is a safety issue right there with that age group of children, especially. And I kind of got a question why we didn't do it already, to be honest with you. I think there was some stuff about traffic counts and stuff, and it doesn't quite warrant that because of the amount of traffic there. But just simply the amount of kids that cross there, I think it's needed. So I am in favor of it.
Very good. Thank you, George. Thank you, Aaron. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman.
Am I nay if I'm in favor?
So the motion is to deny the ordinance. So if you want to have it, you would vote no, and you would have to have a motion to introduce the ordinance.
Okay. So no will get me a stop sign. 2 stop signs.
No.
No, you need, need to be a second motion to introduce the ordinance.
Understood. Okay, very good. So motion to deny, aye.
Correct.
Yep, aye.
Okay, Mayor Sherman was aye.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
To deny the,
To deny the recommendation.
which is
Correct.
to deny the ordinance.
The motion was to deny. You denied the motion. Yes.
I believe, Mayor, a vote of aye would move it forward that we could vote on to have a stop sign there,
So,
right? Am I correct in saying that?
No,
No, it's opposite. The motion is to not approve
To
the
not do
ordinance.
this. So if you
Oh,
say,
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So if you wish to approve, it may be simpler if
Thank you for the clarification.
to withdraw the motion and start afresh, but, or you can vote on this motion and see where it goes.
okay,
if we deny the motion, there can be a new motion.
Yep.
Correct.
so I will allow me to deny this.
No.
Okay. Nay, then.
Sorry.
Nay,
No.
no.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Ugh.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
aye.
Worzakowski.
Is nay the right vote?
Yeah,
Yes, George.
correct.
Thank you.
And Rapinski.
Nay.
So we have 3 and 3. So does the motion fail?
Yes.
Does the motion fail so you can make a new motion?
Mayor Aaron here, I'd like to make a motion that we pursue putting a four-way stop at that intersection of High Forest and Seventh, I believe.
And High Forest and Eighth at both intersections?
Yes,
So it's to introduce that draft ordinance.
yes, I make a motion to introduce that draft ordinance.
George will second that.
All right, we have a motion by Aaron and a second by George. Any discussion on this one? Hearing
This
none,
be- Mayor.
Go
would
ahead.
This be something that would be better to be tabled when we have an odd number of people, since we just split it evenly? Isn't it gonna go the same way again?
Would it be a postponement or a table?
Yeah, we can, if we postpone it.
someone needs to make,
Someone needs to make a motion.
Oh,
then
I'll
to-
second the motion.
Who made the motion to,
No one.
no,
Aaron
There's
did.
no
no, he
post-
made the
no
motion
post-
to,
There's a motion on the table. We should vote it.
yep,
If it's tied again, then we'll come back.
Mr. Mayor,
if it ties,
Uh,
it fails.
Chris, yes, thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Chris.
jumping in.
just let me jump in quick here, Mayor and Council. So if there is a motion to postpone, the motion to postpone supersedes the present motion. So if there is a motion to postpone, that takes precedence over the present motion.
Thank you. So can I make a motion that we postpone? I would motion that we postpone
Steve
until.
Young
we-
will second.
Okay, we have a motion by Eileen to postpone and a second by Steve.
Okay,
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to unfinished business. Item 4.1 is to award the contract for the 2021 bituminous mill and overlay project. And the one bidder was Dunn Blacktop with a bid of $631,894.50.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to approve or adopt the attached resolution.
I second.
We have a motion by Michelle and a second by Eileen. Any comments?
Yeah, Mayor George here.
Go ahead, George.
Correct me if I'm wrong, probably Steve or whoever, but did we not have $800,000 in the mill and overlay budget? Or was that taken out for
Broadway?
We lost the 300,000 from Broadway, George.
Okay, that's where that came from?
Correct.
That knocks it down, okay. All right. So now this estimate is 30,000. Let's see here. No, never mind. My question's answered. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, George. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye. Motion passes.
And we will go to new business. Item 5.3 is the Winona Senior Advocacy Grant Agreement.
I make a motion to approve the attached agreement and authorize the mayor and city manager to execute the contract with Winona County.
George will second that.
We have a motion by Eileen and a second by George. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye. Motion passes.
Item 5.4 is an update of the rental housing ordinance, chapter 33A.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to introduce the ordinance and accept the 3 attachments. The ordinance amending chapter 33A, the item summary of significant updates and the questions and answers regarding the proposed updates.
I will second.
We have a motion by Michelle and a second from Eileen. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, this is Steve.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, so I contacted Chad on this, Chad Summers, and I read through all the pages and pages of this stuff, and we really got down to it that this brings us into compliance with Minnesota Building Code, and I know Chad is telling me straight, but I asked him very directly, does this do anything more than simply bring us into compliance with Minnesota Building Code? And he said, no, that's exactly what it's doing. I see we have Mike with us as well. And Mike, maybe you can speak to that or verify that, if Mr. Mayor, if that's appropriate. But I wanted to let everybody know I did directly ask Chad that, and that is bringing us into compliance with Minnesota Code, not adding extra items. So.
Thanks, Steve. We do have Chad Summer here, so he is more than happy to discuss that.
Mike and I did the updates on the rental housing ordinance, and Mike and I did the updates on the rental housing ordinance, and like Councilman Young said, it was based off the 2020 building code. We reached out to the Housing Association, and it was posted to the city's website for any comment, and we didn't receive any, so I think everybody was okay with that.
Thank you, Chad.
Mr. Mayor, could I make one more quick comment?
Go ahead, Steve.
There are some points in here that do increase the burden on. Now, this isn't just for landlords. Let's remember this is for all houses. Isn't that correct, Chad?
No, the rental ordinance is just for rentals.
Okay. But
Now,
yet
there are
the,
some items that overlap into the building code, but this particular thing is for the rental ordinance.
Okay, what we're talking about is rental ordinance. Okay. What I want to make sure that we all understand is that, and we have to do this. I'm going to support this. I'm going to vote for this. And there is an increased expense, increased regulatory burden that owners of properties will bear. That doesn't make housing less expensive. That makes housing more expensive. So it needs to be stated, and I'm going to go there and remind us that anytime that we add burdens to these things and add cost and expense, it doesn't make housing cheaper, it makes it more expensive. So needed to be stated. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Any other comments or discussion?
Mayor,
Go ahead, Eileen.
I would just, I agree with Councilman Young that it does make some housing more expensive, but it mostly makes them safer for renters who are very vulnerable to unsafe buildings if people are not keeping them up to code. So I'm in support of this, and having lived in many rentals, love when we have a safe building.
Thank you, Eileen. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzikowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 5.5 is the approval of the agency agreement with Mndot Aeronautics to receive the ACRGP grant for the Winona Municipal Airport.
I make a
I'm
motion to approve the attached resolution. Sorry, Michelle.
Alexander, no, I'm Michelle Alexander, second.
We have a motion by Eileen and a second from Michelle. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzikowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 5.6 is to design services for the filter rehab project at the Johnson Street Water Treatment Plant.
I make a motion to approve the attached resolution and the proposal for design services.
George will second that.
We have a motion from Eileen, a second from George. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzikowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 5.7 is the 2021 sidewalk replacement project, city manager's recommendation.
Alexander, make a motion to approve the attached resolution.
I will second.
We have a motion by Michelle and a second from Eileen. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzikowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 5.8 is the 2021 sidewalk replacement project feasibility report and resolution ordering hearing for Monday, June 7th.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to approve the attached resolution.
I will
And
second.
We have a motion from Michelle, a second from Eileen. Any discussion?
Mayor George here.
Go ahead, George.
That is a good project. I don't see my name on there or anybody else's, so.
Thank you, George. Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzikowski,
Aye.
excuse me, and Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 5.9 is the Children's Department electrical wiring upgrade.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to approve the facility fund transfer of $40,000 to the library fund to complete that upgrade.
I will second.
We have a motion from Michelle, a second from Eileen. Any discussion?
Mayor Michelle Alexander,
Go ahead, Michelle.
I just want to say that as much as I hate spending this $40,000, I am so thankful that the intrusion of water that led to that repair found this before something worse would have happened, God forbid, a fire in our library with that old wiring. So I guess a small thanks to the water intrusion that we found this old wiring and are able to repair it while the wall's open.
Thank you, Michelle. It's a good way to look at it. Leslie, did you want to speak to this at all?
Mayor and council, I just thank you for also recognizing that this is a need, not a want, and we can't wait on this one.
Leslie, I have a quick question. Do you know what was found? Was it aluminum wiring or what was it that was out of code?
It was copper wiring running, snaking through bricks. So no color coded conduit. It was actually the oldest wiring after knob and tube.
Okay. All right.
And then in investigating what that wiring was and where it ran to, the Bank of Public PCs on the second floor lost power. And then we were really in trouble.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks, Leslie. Any other comments or discussion, Eileen?
Just that I agree with Michelle that it stinks to find this, but better now than later. We're talking about code and updating buildings, and so I'm glad that this super essential public building is being updated, and glad we can take care of it and keep it safe and functional.
Thanks, Eileen. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 5.10 is the plat review for the Echo Stone subdivision.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to approve the attached resolution accepting the Echo Stone subdivision plat map and the planning commission's report.
Eileen will second.
We have a motion by Michelle, a second from Eileen. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor George here.
Go ahead, George.
This is a very, very nice subdivision. And I remember when this first was getting platted, probably 8 years ago, probably 10 years ago. It was quite controversial, but everything is going along good out there, and they all contributed towards paying for the sewer and water extension out to that way, along with the other business that's out there. But good to see it come. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman,
Aye.
Councilman Young,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 7.1 is council concerns.
Okay, we'll start with Councilmember Borzakowski.
Thank you, Mayor. City Manager Steve, could we possibly look at the speed limit around Lake Park, primarily by the new playground area? I've heard from many people, even from some city employees, of vehicles passing through there at a pretty good amount of speed. One thought was that I believe it's 30 miles an hour going through there. Maybe that could be reduced to 25. I don't know, but could we just kind of take a look at that area, see if there's something we can do? And I don't know if anyone else has heard anything about the speed going through Lake Park there, but can we take a look at that?
Mayor and council, we have in the past. We haven't had much success catching speeders. The reduction in the speed limit in that area, of course, always falls back into enforcement. So staff will bring something forward to the council in the very near future about what that process looks like.
I know years ago, I know they put speed bumps in there. I think some of us remember that, and that was not very popular, but just something to take a look at. There's something we can do out there. Then also, I'd just like to take a moment to congratulate my niece, Amanda Durnan, on receiving her doctorate degree from Winona State. And her and another young lady were the first two to receive doctorate degrees from the new Education Village. So congratulations to her, and as she goes forth now with her working career. And also I'd like to send out birthday greetings to the manager of, or the operator of Sloppy Joe's Bar. A happy 50th birthday to Scott Brown. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Councilmember Alexander.
Thank you. I'm going to direct my comments to George. George, what do you feed those birds to make them so happy? I need I've been listening to them the whole meeting, and I just keep thinking, my comment is I need to get a hold of that bird feed. They are the happiest birds I've ever heard. Otherwise, I have nothing for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a happy homeowner.
That'll do it.
Thank you, Michelle. Councilmember Mueller.
Thank you. I want to echo George's congrats to graduates and all the folks who are graduating after a really extraordinary year of learning, mostly distance learning, and all the different ways that people completed their degrees. I have a close family member who has just graduated with his master's degree in social work after many years of struggle with addiction and being in prison and getting out and getting trained. And so I just want to send my congratulations to that family member. And I also want to ask I think I ask this every spring, but 5th Street, the parking lanes are not as well paved as the street itself. And I am always wondering if we can fix that, because many people and myself bike on 5th Street. And if there's no cars, it's fine because you can be in the driving lane. But anytime a car comes, you have to go into the parking lane, and it's really difficult to bike. And of course, 7th Street is also difficult to bike on. And most of us who are casual bikers don't bike on Broadway. So just wondering if we can look at that, because it's really, really rough. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Eileen. Councilmember Young?
Yeah, those were house wrens, by the way, that were calling through George's window there. I could just recognize that and hear that. I do like birds, so that will come up as I remain on council, that I like birds. I was out looking at birds this weekend. It's part of the fantastic thing about Winona. Winona is a really special place with millions of birds flying up the Mississippi Flyway. So I was out for both Saturday and Sunday looking at birds. Other than that, I got nothing. Enjoy spring.
Thanks, Steve. Councilmember Rapinski.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I want to concern is it's been brought to my attention by a few people that use the city municipal harbor, otherwise known as Dick's, that it's filling in quite a bit in the entranceway, and looking at, at how can that be addressed, or can that be dealt with at some time in a timely manner? They have larger boats. It's difficult to get in and out of there. But that was brought to my attention by a few different individuals. So I just wanted to bring it up that we should look at that at some point.
Very good. Thank you, Aaron.
And moving to the consent agenda, there's one item, the approval of the minutes from the May 3rd meeting.
George moves to approve the consent agenda.
Michelle second.
We have a motion by George, a second from Michelle. We'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman.
Aye.
Councilman Young.
Aye.
Moeller.
Aye.
Alexander.
Aye.
Worzikowski.
Aye.
Rapinski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to adjourn.
Eileen will second.
We have a motion by Michelle, a second from Eileen. We'll now vote by roll call.
Mayor Sherman.
Aye.
Councilman Young.
Aye.
Moeller.
Aye.
Alexander.
Aye.
Worzikowski.
Aye.
And Rapinski.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.